Will Forte plays MacGruber in MacGruber, I Bet Noble and Gold Derby. And I want to kick things off by asking you, Will, what do you think the wildest thing is that MacGruber does in the series?
You know what? There are several different versions of wild things that MacGruber does. I mean, where it goes the most nuts is he takes down this somehow, even though he's one of the most inept people on the planet, he somehow takes down this group of 4 or 5 guys, and then at the end he takes the last guy down by throwing a boulder at his head, and then just smashes the boulder over his head. It's severe bloodlust, and it's that is probably the but there are a lot of it's kind of tied with a bunch of stuff. But then he's naked and a bunch of stuff. Maybe these are the most wild things that I did as MacGruber. Maybe not that MacGruber did, because it all seems, when I describe it as what MacGruber did, it kind of all makes sense for his character. So it's all the weirdest stuff that I had to do, I guess.
When you're thinking of like ideas and you're in the writer's room bouncing ideas around, like, do you ever was there ever a thought at any point of, oh, that's too far, that's too much?
All the time, time. And then we usually do it anyway. I mean, believe it or not, that is constantly a discussion. We're trying to be respectful of everyone and not offend, but at the same time, it's we don't have a problem with grossing people out, I guess, or offending in the right way. But we try to police ourselves and yeah, but all the time we're talking about this stuff, way more than you would think.
Oh, that's good. And do you have a favorite moment?
Favorite moment? I don't know. I keep going. You know what? There is this. Yes, this is very, very disgusting. My favorite thing that I got to do was, because I do a lot of throat rips. That's kind of his MacGruber's move from the movie. But there was one thing in the 6th episode where I do the old "got your nose" trick, but it's actually I have the guy's nose in my hands because I've ripped his nose off. So it's a "got your nose," and then immediately I followed that up by telling this dumb joke where I said, "What did the hunting knife say to your head?" And then I jammed this huge hunting knife through his head and say, "Just passing through." And that was, for some reason, that little sequence always made me laugh. There's also Kristen Wiig, just everything she does. But there's this song that she does in the pilot, which is so stupid, but also she's just got such a beautiful voice that it actually seems like a legitimately good song, but the words she's singing just get increasingly weird. But I mean, there are a million Kristen Wiig moments I could go to. It was so much fun getting to do this.
What talk us through scenes when you're with her? What does sort of she bring out in you, and how does that sort of dynamic work between you and her?
We've just known each other for so long. It's really fun because it's just, we try to plan it so that you can get as many takes as possible when we're doing scenes, that the two of us together, because it always seems like there's stuff that we find as we keep going into more and more takes and just kind of ramp up stuff. So it's always, most of the time we're racing the clock. We were a little our eyes were a little bigger than our stomach production wise. So we were racing around, but we would try to make sure to get some, to be able to spend a little time with that stuff. But she's just, oh my God, she can do everything. She's so funny. And then there are a couple scenes where we have to like be legitimately acting, and she's just, I mean, she's so good, and it doesn't seem out of step with her character either. She's just like such a super funny but super organic actress. But I think the really fun stuff is when we get to have insane scenes that are like there's this scene where I'm going away and she's I'm going to hunt down the bad guy, and I need to do it lone wolf style, and she's telling me how she feels about me, but in a very indirect way, and it's just, you know, just getting to have these speeches with her that are crazy. It's like nobody talks like this, and but just to get to do it and have fun and just treat it completely seriously, it's really hard not to laugh when I just have this front row seat with her. But we had a lot of, I mean, there was so much stuff that it was just fun the whole way through. I mean, getting to work with Lawrence Fishburne too, and Sam Elliott. I mean, an embarrassment of riches. Billy Zane was really fun, and of course, you know, Ryan Phillippe, who's the glue that holds the whole thing together. Like our, you know, me and Wig, our stuff is all just insane all the time. So he's got to play that delicate balance of being annoyed and frustrated, but somehow still staying with us on the missions. So, and somehow he pulls it off. He's our secret weapon. So, yeah.
Yeah, like you've played MacGruber in sketches, a film, and now a series. What was different about like taking on this character in the form of like a TV series?
That's let's see. You know what? It was, I mean, the character, it was more just the writing was different. It was, you know, parsing out the stories so that you know, that so that the structure would you know, build to the end, instead of just doing, you know, it's just a different structure doing a season of TV versus doing the movie. But the, you know, how playing the character was not wildly different from the movie. I mean, it was, the weird thing was I got to go and host SNL, which was super exciting. And, you know, obviously we had to do a MacGruber while we were there, because we were there to promote MacGruber. And it's the TV version of the SNL sketch version of MacGruber is so different than what was in the movie and what's in the TV series. That was very weird to try to figure out, like, you know, the relationship with Vicky and MacGruber and those things is just totally different. And, you know, we just have to, we just treat those as two separate things. So that was a huge challenge, was going back and trying to figure out, you know, how to do go back and do an SNL version of MacGruber. It's also tough. You get used to your swear words. It's tough to not go back to those.
Yeah.
It was when, you know, we did MacGruber, and I just, you just are so used to using the F word and the SH word. See, I don't say it in my personal life. No, but then I went to do The Last Man on Earth, and obviously you can't swear in that. So I got so used to saying friggin'. And then in my personal life, I would just use the word friggin' all the time, and was used to that. And that was, a little more family friendly. And now I'm back with the word fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. You're back to saying it. So maybe
if somebody can let me do Last Man on Earth again, so I can get back on the other train. I got a baby now, so I can't. I got to watch what I say. She's just starting to repeat everything we say. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll back to network comedy for you. Well, now, what do you think is the sort of the magic of MacGruber?
Well, I first of all, I would I think using the term magic of MacGruber, I think there are a lot of people who might take issue with that phrasing.
Yeah.
I think that if people who like MacGruber, I think like it because we do not compromise on stuff. We are basically doing what we want to do, and Lorne Michaels is wonderful and always puts us in a position, it really protects us, and lets us, we have financial restrictions. There's a lot of stuff that, and that was part of the deal with the movie too. So, but we were so thankful to get to do this again, and Lauren got us in this position with Peacock, who was wonderful, and they were. It felt like with the movie, Lauren really had to protect us. With the TV series, Peacock really came in, and they were fully on board to let us do what we wanted to do. So it is, we were just kind of writing what tickled us, and we didn't try to write something that we thought would appeal to people. We were like, if we like it, that's what we're making, and that's why some people don't like it, because we have very specific senses of humor. So I think people who do like it probably are, probably like it. I think that's why some people like it, and some people do not. It's a very specific thing. It's not for everybody, but that's, we're basically, we're not trying to make it for everybody. We're trying to make something that we would want to watch, and that is for the sliver of 40,000 other people who like the kind of stuff that we like. So
You've been you've played this character in different sort of iterations for so long, Will. Like, how have you changed over the time of playing this character, and what's something you've learned from playing MacGruber?
Man, I mean, you like to think that you just get, I mean, life is an education, and you're constantly learning. I'm trying to be a better version of myself. There are certainly jokes that we did in the movie. Things that we did in the movie that I don't think we would have done in the movie if we had made the movie 10 years down the road. And if you watch this series, you're like, wait, what it doesn't seem like, this is kind of back to what we were talking about earlier. It doesn't seem like a group of people who were taking great care in protecting, it just seems like I'm doing a bad job of answering this question.
That's okay.
I don't know. We really do think a lot about, trying to be fair and stuff. And I'll always remember there's this, in the movie version, we did a joke where I'm assembling the team, and we get to one of the team members, we come up, and there's like where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get this guy on the team, and then his assistant comes in, who's this other dude, and gives him a little kiss on the lips, and then I cross out the name, and we were always very iffy on the joke anyway, because we're all very pro LGBTQ plus. I mean, very, very, very supportive. And but it was like, oh, but MacGruber's probably that dude though, and we and then it got laughs at the screenings, and we found ways to justify keeping it in, and I wish I had that one back. That's just not something that I don't want to put that out there, and I'm kind of disappointed we did do that, and we didn't want to make any mistakes like that with this series. So that's an example of something that we over I guess 12 years since we had made the movie, that something we wouldn't do. So we tried to not make jokes at the expense of others, unless there were real assholes. No, I don't think there's. I don't know. I can't think of. Yeah. So that's an example, but we're trying to do that across the spectrum, and we had this wonderful team of people, and anything that hit people wrong, we would all discuss it and come up with solutions.
Yeah. What do you think? Well, what do you think the most important thing is for comedy, and to get comedy right?
I mean, the answer is so different for every single person. Yeah. I think it's what I alluded to earlier, which is just doing what you think is funny and not trying to please other people, but just doing what you like. And yeah, I mean the moment you're doing it to try to, I mean, you're obviously, it's not that we have zero interest in appealing to people. I mean, that's what we're doing it to try to make people laugh. But it's we've just found that when I've been in situations where I've tried to where people have convinced me to do something so it could appeal to a wider audience, and it still it stinks it up and doesn't do well, and then you're always thinking, God, what if I just stuck to my guns? I mean, most likely financially it wouldn't have made a difference, the thing still would have not done well, but the MacGruber movie really taught us a lesson that, like, in the event of a bomb, a movie bomb, not like a MacGruber bomb. It's
MacGruber's got a lot of experience with the real bombs. Yeah.
But it's when you do something that does not do well, but you've done it the way you wanted to do it, you can really live with yourself. You can stand by it, and we were always proud of the movie. And at first, it seemed like we were on this. This is the worst pun in the world, but we're on our own lonely island. That's an allusion to Jorma, who's directed this. But and then a little bit along the way, it became clear that some people had found the movie, and it and there were we weren't the only people who enjoyed the movie. So but it, in the first little bit after the movie, the only empirical evidence you have is the box office take, and that did not go well. So it's it was hard at first. You go, oh God, people hated it. But then we banded together after a couple of weeks, and we said, you know what, we're still proud of this. And then somehow over the years, as I said, people found it, and then, but still, you're like, you don't know, how do you quantify?
Yeah.
How if how many people saw it and liked it? but you know, you'd hear little things here and there and go, oh, that's nice, that because we were proud of the movie. But to, you know, to get to have a chance to make this series was fun for us, because we just didn't want that movie, you know, we didn't want that to be the final chapter. We wanted to control MacGruber's destiny, and I don't know if this is all sounding,
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain
Yeah.
it. There was just something very sweet about getting to, I mean, mainly to just get this group of people that we really enjoy back together to do this again, because we had such a fun time making the movie. We were proud of it, and we're like, God, it would be so great if we could have another summer like that. And we got to do it, and we're so appreciative to you know, all the people who put us in that situation, because you know, May 2010, when that movie came out, there was you know, you would think that we were crazy if we said that we wanted to do anything MacGruber related. You know, if we said, hey, will you loan us $10 to make a MacGruber short on our phones, no, everybody would think it was a bad investment.
Well, you know, as MacGruber, I imagine would say, like, you know, never count him out.
Exactly. That you're exactly right. Never ever say never ever.
Yeah, exactly. Will, just quickly, one of my favorite films of the past like decade was Nebraska. It's close to like 10 years old now, which is wild. Yeah, isn't that crazy? What do you sort of, when you look back on that experience and that film, what's something that just stays with you?
Oh man, I mean, I just remember the fear I had going into it. It was I really felt like a fish out of water. You know, I still don't know how I got that job. I'm so, it was just so different. You know, you look at MacGruber and you're like, wait, somebody's gonna give him a chance to be in a movie that's not just a crazy comedy. You know, it, I'll just remember the support I had from Alexander and from Bruce and June. Like, you know, the shot that Alexander gave me to be in that role, I'll be thankful forever. And but I spent so much time with Bruce in a car, just talking to him, listening to his stories, and just learned so much from him. Learned so much about him, but received a real education from him. That as the years go by, I realize just how much of an education. You know, like when you're hearing a lot of stuff at first, there's some stuff that immediately sinks in, but then there's just stuff where down the road you go, oh, that's right, this is exactly what Bruce was talking about. I don't know. It's and I just will remember the special moments of like, we made the movie when we were done with all the oh my god, so bad with the terms, all the dialogue stuff in the movie.
Yeah,
we were there was a week where, I think it was a week where after all the scenes had been completed, we loaded into, or Alexander Payne and kind of a smaller group of the crew loaded into that RV that Jack Nicholson drove around in About Schmidt. Alexander Payne bought that RV when that production was completed, and they mounted a camera to the front. And Faden, Papa Michael, the DP, he was in there, and they just filmed us taking the road trip from Billings to Lincoln. And that was a week of just the pressure was off because we were done with all the acting, and we just got to hang out with these people that we had become so close to. And this was just another magical period of like 7 days where it's just me and Bruce in a car as this. It was a little weird because there's this RV following us, and this camera arm would be poking around at the sides, and but I'll just, that's the stuff I really remember is just all those times with Bruce. In June, oh my God, June is, I just talked to her a couple months ago. It had been a while. Oh, she's a woman.
And I'm sure, Alexander Payne's next film, The Descendants, he followed them around in the car that you and Bruce drove in Nebraska and packed everyone into that. Well, Will, thank you so much for talking to us today about MacGruber. All the best of luck with the upcoming Emmy Awards for MacGruber. Maybe MacGruber can get an Emmy nomination, as we know.
It's going to be an onslaught.
Yeah, never count him out. Never count out MacGruber.
Yeah, exactly.
People watching this interview, if you go to goldderby.com to make your own awards predictions. Will, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Nice talking to you.